Welcome to today's video on designing an Easter rabbit.
Let's go to tinkercad.com. Now we'll log in using our school Gmail account and you can join your teacher's classroom using her class code. Once you've logged in, your screen should look like this. Click the Create button and select 3D Design to begin designing your project.
To get started, we're going to go ahead and drag a round roof onto our work plane. And I'm going to go ahead and rotate this component 90 degrees, like so. And we'll start by setting the width to 2 inches, the height, or rather the length, to 1.5 inches, and the height to 0.25 inches, like so. Now I'm going to go ahead and raise this component so that it's flush with our work plane before I make a copy. And then I'm going to go ahead and drag a hollow cube onto our work plane, and I'll create some stripes using this hollow cube to create cutouts in the copied version of this egg. So I'm going to go ahead and create one large stripe, and then when I group the two components like so, and I overlay it with the original egg base, I'm going to be left with a wide stripe. But to be able to see that better, I'm going to go ahead and change the color of this component to a nice yellow. And I'm also going to raise the height of the component by negative 0.02 inches. And then I'm going to make sure I selected the right color and the right component for this the stripe pattern. Alright, next I'm going to go ahead and drag a cylinder onto my work plane to create the polka dot effect like we can see in the sample on the top corner. So I'm going to go ahead and create multiple polka dots. I'll place them on my egg design, and I'll randomly scatter them and also pick colors as per my liking. Here, feel free to get creative and customize your design. Now we're ready to start creating the rabbit's body, so I'm going to go ahead and select my component and slide it over to the side so that I can go ahead and start designing the rabbit. To do that, I'm going to drag 2 cylinders onto my workspace, and I'll set the dimensions of the first one to 2 inches wide by 1.5 inches long, and I'll set the height to 0.25 inches. This will serve as the head of the rabbit, and for the second cylinder, we're going to create its body. So I'm going to go ahead and set the width to 2 inches again, and the length will be 3 inches, and I'll set the height to 0.25 inches again, and I'll go ahead and overlap them like so. Now I'm going to go ahead and drag a hollow cube onto my work plane, and I'll overlap this with the bottom half portion of the rabbit's body, and I'll group the components so that we create this torso-like body shape that you can see in the sample product as well. Now I'm going to go ahead and set the color to this whitish gray, and I'll make a copy of this design. For the copy, I'm going to go ahead and slightly enlarge the dimensions, but then I'll set the height to 0.15 inches and the color to a light brown, so that when we overlay the two, you can see a nice layered silhouette, like so. Now to create the ears for our rabbit, I'm going to go ahead and drag 2 more cylinders onto my work plane. And I'll set the dimensions for the first one to a height of 0.1 inches, a width of 0.6 inches, and a length of 1.6 inches. I'm going to go ahead and also set the color to a light brown, and for the second cylinder I'm going to be setting the height to 0.15 inches, the width to 0.5 inches, and the length to 1.5 inches. And I'm also setting the color to a light pink. And then I'll select both components and use the align tool to vertically and horizontally align the components. Now this is going to be the ear for our rabbit, so I'm going to make another copy for the second ear, and I'll select both the pink and brown components before tilting both by 1 notch, like so, to create a nice angled effect. Now I'm just going to go ahead and create some space and then arrange the ears onto the rabbit's head, like so. Now we can return to the home view as well for a better angle, and then you can arrange the ears as per your liking. Now we have the base as well as the main outline for our rabbit's body. So I'm going to go ahead and add some embellishments for the eyes, the smile, and you can also add some details. In my example here, I've added some pink rosy cheeks, but you can choose to add any design that you may like. And so I'm going to create all of these components using the basic shapes. The eyes are going to be using 2 cylinders each. I'm going to create an oval using cylinders and creating the cheek effect. And then I'm also going to be using a round roof component to create the smile. Once you've embellished your rabbit, you're ready to go ahead and assemble the rabbit component with the egg. So I'm going to go ahead and select all the components from my rabbit design, slide them slightly upward so I have space for the egg, and I'll drag all the components of the egg component over to the bottom of my rabbit, and I might even elongate it a bit for a better fit. Then I'll go ahead and select my rabbit one more time and lower it just a tad by 0.01 inches so that I have a nice layering effect and my egg is on the top. Now for one final touch, I'm going to go ahead and drag a cylinder onto my work plane. I'll create an oval shape, and I'm going to go ahead and try to create 2 paws for my rabbit. So once I've created one paw, I'm going to copy paste the exact same component, drag both over to the rabbit, and then raise them upward and adjust them until I'm happy with their positioning. And then there you have it. Your rabbit design is complete. Feel free to play around with this design. You can always adjust the components, change the colors, and just have some fun customizing your design. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.